A young black man faced a racist judge who mocked him at every turn, pinning a robbery he didn't commit. The evidence was weak, the bias loud, yet his lawyer fought hard. Then, a jury shocked the courtroom, not guilty, and a rare rebuke of the judge's hate. An investigation kicked him out, but the story's just starting. This is one man's win, sparking a city's reckoning, grit, justice, and a question. What's next? Watch it unfold. The Mobile County Courthouse smelled of damp wood and old paper, a squat brick relic on Government Street where the Alabama sun baked the walls to a dull red. Inside, the courtroom simmered, ceiling fans whirring lazy circles, gallery benches groaning under a crowd of locals, their murmurs thick with heat and curiosity. It was late August 2025, and Jamal Carter, 27, sat at the defendant's table, hands clasped tight, his faded blue shirt crisp, despite the sweat prickling his neck. A robbery charge hung over him, false, flimsy, but heavy as the gavel about to fall. Judge Raymond Polk presided, a wiry man of 63, his white hair swept back, eyes pale and sharp like a hawk's. His black robe draped him like armor, but his sneer was the real weapon. He banged the gavel once, sharp, and leaned forward, voice a slow drawl laced with venom. Case 478 State v. Carter, robbery. Let's not drag this out, folks. You ready to explain yourself, boy? The word landed like a slap, and the gallery shifted a few gasps, a low hiss. Jamal straightened, jaw tight, meeting Polk's gaze. He'd been a mechanic, steady hands, steady life, until a blurry video and a shaky witness pinned him to a liquor store holdup he'd never seen. I didn't do it, sir, he said, voice even, the kind that fixed engines, not broke laws. Polk snorted, loud enough to echo. Sure you didn't, I've heard that tune before. Lena Harris, Jamal's lawyer, stood 35, wiry, her brown eyes blazing under a neat braid. Your Honor, my client's innocent, and the evidence is a joke grainy footage, no prints, a witness who can't see straight. We'll prove it. Polk waved a hand, dismissive. Proof? Save the speeches, counsel. This ain't your stage. He smirked at Jamal, adding, though I reckon he's used to spotlights, wrong kind, huh? The jury, 12 faces, mixed ages. Races watched from their box. A woman in a floral dress frowned slightly. A guy in a faded cap scribbled a note. The prosecutor, a pudgy man named Gaines, shuffled papers, mumbling about circumstantial proof. Lena shot back, circumstantial garbage, and the trial kicked off, weak, wobbly. But Polk's bias loomed like a storm cloud. Jamal sat still, heart thudding, feeling every eye. This wasn't just a charge, it was his name, his breath, his tomorrow. And Polk was already writing the ending. The Mobile County Courthouse thrummed with restless energy as the trial ground into its second hour, the August heat seeping through cracked windows and plastering shirts to backs. The gallery benches sagged under a swelling crowd, locals in faded tees, a knot of reporters scribbling, an old woman fanning herself with a church bulletin. Jamal Carter sat at the defendant's table, his blue shirt clinging damply, hands clasped so tight his knuckles paled. At 27, he'd fixed cars, not robbed stores, but the flimsy, charge a Dauphin Street liquor store hit. $200 gone, clung to him like grease he couldn't scrub off. Judge Raymond Polk loomed on the bench, his white hair slicked back, pale eyes glinting with a predator's glee. His robe hung loose, but his voice cut sharp, a drawl dripping venom. State's turn, he said, gavel tapping like a warning shot. Let's see if this boy's got a story worth hearing. The gallery shifted, a low hiss, a cough, and Jamal's chest tightened, though his face stayed steady, a mechanic's calm under pressure. Prosecutor Gaines, pudgy and flushed, mopped his brow with a hanky. State calls Eddie Rawls, he said, voice a tired drone. Rawls shuffled to the stand, a wiry clerk, 50s, glasses fogged with sweat, sworn in with a shaky hand on the Bible. I was locking up my shop about 8:15, he mumbled, peering at Jamal. Saw a fella near the liquor store, I reckon. Dark hoodie, moving fast. Gaines nodded, smug as a cat with a mouse. Matches the video-hooded suspect, 8:17 p.m. Store hit minutes later. Lena Harris rose, wiry and fierce, her brown eyes locked on Rawls like a hawk. "Let's get this straight," she said, voice cool but edged, stepping forward in her crisp blazer. "You reckon it was my client? How far were you? 50 feet, 60. Dark out, right?" Rawls blinked, adjusting his glasses. Yeah, around 50. Streetlight was half dead, flickering." Lena pressed, smooth as a blade. "So no face, just a hoodie, a shape? Could have been half of mobile, couldn't it?" Rawls scratched his neck, sheepish. "Well, maybe. Didn't get a good look." Polk's gavel cracked, loud enough to jolt the room. "Enough, counsel," he barked, leaning forward with a smirk. "He saw what he saw, your boy skulking around. Move it along." Jamal's jaw clenched, a muscle twitching, as Lena spun. "Objection, Your Honor. That's prejudicial. He's assuming guilt." Polk waved a bony hand, dismissive. "Overruled. Ain't no prejudice in facts. Sit down or stand, but quit yapping." The gallery rippled some chuckles from the back, a sharp "Jesus" from a woman in braids. Gaines clicked a remote, and the video flickered onto a screen, grainy, black and white, a hooded figure darting past the store's buzzing neon sign. No face, no height. Just a shadow swallowed by static. "Matches the description," Gaines said, puffing up. "Time-stamped, right there." A juror, a woman in a floral dress, mid-40s, frowned, her pen hovering over her notepad. Another, a guy in a faded cap, leaned forward, squinting. Lena stood again, voice rising like a tide. "No prints, no cash, no weapon on my client. This is a ghost chase. Your Honor chasing shadows, not evidence." Polk snorted, the sound bouncing off the walls. "Ghosts don't rob stores, lady. Your boy's solid enough to me, probably spent that $200 on something shiny." He grinned at Jamal, teeth yellowed, eyes glinting. "What did you buy, son? New tools for your trade?" Jamal met his stare, hands still, voice low when he spoke. "I didn't take anything, sir. I was at work." Polk laughed, sharp and mean. "Work, huh? Heard that one before. Y'all always got an excuse." The gallery stirred again. A man in a trucker hat muttered, "That's bullshit," loud enough to draw a glare from the bailiff. Lena's fists balled, but she kept her tone even. "Permission to present, Your Honor. Mr. Carter's time stub from Ray's Auto, 2 miles away, clocked out at 8 p.m. She slid the paper to the clerk, a yellow slip. Smudged with oil, stamped clear, Jamal Carter, 8:02 p.m. Polk snatched it, glanced, then flicked it back like trash. "Paper don't mean much. Could have run fast. 2 miles ain't far for a fellow like him." The gallery bristled, a woman hissed, "Come on!" And the juror in the cap shifted, his pencil scratching harder. The woman in floral tilted her head, lips pursed, doubt creasing her brow. The morning dragged, Polk's jabs relentless. "Good with locks, Carter? Bet that store door was easy pickings." Each taunt landed like a hammer. But Lena parried coworker affidavit, no DNA. A second witness who saw Jamal at the shop. "This case is air," she snapped, "and you're blowing smoke." Polk overruled her objections, smirking. "Let's not bore the jury with fairy tales, counsel. They've got eyes." So by recess, Jamal's hands trembled, though he hid it, folding them under the table. Lena leaned close, voice a fierce whisper. "He's digging his own grave, Jamal, not yours. Jury's seeing it." Jamal nodded, slow, eyes on the jurors filing out floral woman's frown, cap guy's tight jaw. "Hope so," he said, voice rough. "Hope they're listening." Outside, the gallery spilled into the hall, whispers sharp, "Polk's a damn fool." The trial teetered, and the air crackled with what might break. The Mobile County Courthouse pulsed with a restless hum as the trial stretched into its third day, the August heat pressing through the walls like a fist. The gallery swelled locals, craning necks, reporters tapping pens, a cluster of activists in Justice Now tees whispering in the back. Jamal Carter sat at the defendant's table, his blue shirt dark with sweat, hands steady now, eyes locked on Lena Harris. The robbery charge, $200 gone from a Dauphin Street store, teetered on shaky legs, and Lena was ready to kick them out. Judge Raymond Polk slouched on the bench, his white hair limp in the humidity, pale eyes glinting with malice. "Defense's turn," he drawled, gavel tapping lazily. "Let's hear your fairy tale, counsel, though I reckon it's the same old song."
Wait.
He smirked at Jamal, adding, "What's it this time, boy? Wrong place, wrong time." The gallery bristled, a sharp "Lord" from an old man, a reporter's scribble quickening. Lena stood, wiry frame taut, voice ablade. "Your Honor, we'll prove Mr. Carter's innocence fact, not fiction." She turned to the jury 12 faces, some stern, some shifting, and began. "State's got a video with no face, a witness with no eyes, and nothing tying my client to that store. Here's the truth." She called her first witness, Darius Green, Jamal's co-worker at Ray's Auto, a stocky 30-year-old in a grease-stained polo. Darius swore in, voice steady. "Jamal was with me, closing shop 8 p.m., 2 miles from Dauphin. Laughed about a busted carburetor till 8:15. Lena slid the time stub forward, 8:02 p.m., stamped. "This puts him nowhere near the crime." Polk snorted, cutting in. 2 miles? He could have jogged it. Y'all move quick when you need to." He grinned at Jamal. "Bet you're a sprinter, huh?" Jamal's jaw flexed, but he stayed silent, eyes on Darius. Lena fired back, "Objection! Speculation, not evidence." Polk waved it off. "Overruled, just wondering aloud. Jury can handle it." The woman in floral frowned deeper, her pen still. The guy in the cap leaned forward, brow creased. Lena pressed on, calling the store's second clerk Missy Tate, a nervous blonde, 20s. "You saw the robber?" Lena asked, calm. Missy nodded, fidgeting. "Yeah, hoodie fast. Didn't see his face, just dark skin, I guess." Lena zeroed in. "Guess? You told police? Maybe black, maybe not, right?" Missy blushed. "Yeah, it was dark out." Polk banged the gavel. "She said dark skin, counsel. Quit twisting words." The gallery murmured, a woman hissed, "He's twisting it," and Lena held up the video still, a hooded blur. This could be anyone, white, black, tall, short. No match to Jamal. Polk leaned forward, voice sharp. "Looks like him to me. Same build, same sneaky walk. Jury's got eyes." Jamal's hands balled, but he breathed slow, trusting Lena's rhythm. She closed with Jamal on the stand. He stood tall, sworn in, voice clear. "I was at work, fixing a truck, never been in that store. Don't steal, don't run. That's me." Lena asked, "Where's the $200? Jamal shrugged. "Ain't got it. Check my place, my bank." Polk cut in loud. "Oh, you spent it quick, I bet. New rims for that junker you fix." Laughter trickled from the back. But the jury stayed stone, floral woman's lips tight. Cap guy's pencil paused. Lena faced Polk, voice steel. "No evidence, Your Honor, just your guesses. That's not law." Polk smirked. "Law's what I say, counsel. Wrap it up." The gallery buzzed anger, disbelief, and a juror in a red tie shifted, eyes narrowing at Polk. Lena sat, whispering to Jamal, "They're seeing him now, not you." The day ended, Polk's taunts a drumbeat. "Good at hiding, Carter." But the jury's silence spoke louder. Jamal watched them go, hope flickering. Something was brewing. The Mobile County Courthouse pulsed with a restless hum as the trial stretched into its third day, the August heat pressing through the walls like a fist. The gallery swelled, locals craning necks, reporters tapping pens, a cluster of activists in Justice Now tees whispering in the back. Jamal Carter sat at the defendant's table, his blue shirt dark with sweat, hands steady now, eyes locked on Lena Harris. The robbery charge, $200 gone from a Dauphin Street store, teetered on shaky legs, and Lena was ready to kick them out. Judge Raymond Polk slouched on the bench, his white hair limp in the humidity, pale eyes glinting with malice. "Defense's turn," he drawled, gavel tapping lazily. "Let's hear your fairy tale, counsel, though I reckon it's the same old song." He smirked at Jamal, adding, "What's it this time, boy? Wrong place, wrong time?" The gallery bristled a sharp "Lord" from an old man, a reporter's scribble quickening. Lena stood, wiry frame taut, voice ablade. "Your Honor, we'll prove Mr. Carter's innocence fact, not fiction." She turned to the jury 12 faces, some stern, some shifting, and began. "State's got a video with no face, a witness with no eyes, and nothing tying my client to that store. Here's the truth." And she called her first witness, Darius Green, Jamal's co-worker at Ray's Auto, a stocky 30-year-old in a grease-stained polo. Darius swore in, voice steady. "Jamal was with me, closing shop, 8 p.m., 2 miles from Dauphin. Laughed about a busted carburetor till 8:15. Lena slid the time stub forward, 8:02 p.m., stamped. "This puts him nowhere near the crime." Polk snorted, cutting in. 2 miles? He could have jogged at y'all move quick when you need to. He grinned at Jamal. "Bet you're a sprinter, huh?" Jamal's jaw flexed, but he stayed silent, eyes on Darius. Lena fired back. "Objection! Speculation, not evidence." Polk waved it off. "Overruled. Just wondering aloud. Jury can handle it." The woman in floral frowned deeper, her pen still. The guy in the cap leaned forward, brow creased. Lena pressed on, calling the store's second clerk, Missy Tate, a nervous blonde, 20s. "You saw the robber?" Lena asked, calm. Missy nodded, fidgeting. "Yeah, hoodie, fast. Didn't see his face, just dark skin, I guess." Lena zeroed in. "Guess. You told police, maybe black, maybe not, right?" Missy blushed. "Yeah, it was dark out." Polk banged the gavel. "She said dark skin, counsel. Quit twisting words." The gallery murmured, a woman hissed, "He's twisting it." And Lena held up the video still, a hooded blur. This could be anyone white, black, tall, short, no match to Jamal. Polk leaned forward, voice sharp. "Looks like him to me. Same build, same sneaky walk. Jury's got eyes." Jamal's hands balled, but he breathed slow, trusting Lena's rhythm. She closed with Jamal on the stand. He stood tall, sworn in, voice clear. "I was at work, fixing a truck. Never been in that store, don't steal, don't run. That's me," Lena asked. "Where's the $200? Jamal shrugged. "Ain't got it, check my place, my bank." Polk cut in, loud. "Oh, you spent it quick, I bet. New rims for that junker you fix." Laughter trickled from the back, but the jury stayed stone floral woman's lips tight. Cap guy's pencil paused. Lena faced Polk, voice steel. "No evidence, Your Honor. Just your guesses. That's not law." Polk smirked. "Law's what I say, counsel. Wrap it up." The gallery buzzed. Anger, disbelief, and a juror in a red tie shifted, eyes narrowing at Polk. Lena sat, whispering to Jamal. "They're seeing him now. Not you." And the day ended Polk's taunts a drumbeat. "Good at hiding, Carter." But the jury's silence spoke louder. Jamal watched them go, hope flickering. Something was brewing. The Mobile County Courthouse crackled on the trial's 5th day, the air thick with heat and the weight of a verdict looming. The gallery overflowed locals elbow to elbow, reporters hunched over notebooks, activists gripping crumpled flyers. Jamal Carter sat at the defendant's table. His blue shirt faded from days of sweat. Hands steady now, eyes on the jury box. The robbery charge $200 snatched, pinned on blurry video, and a shaky witness teetered, but Judge Raymond Polk still loomed, a storm, ready to strike. Polk banged his gavel, the sound sharp against the hum. "Closings," he snapped, leaning back with a smirk. "State, make it quick. I reckon we all know how this ends." His pale eyes flicked to Jamal, glinting. "Don't we, boy?" The gallery bristled. A woman in braids hissed, "Shame." But Jamal sat tall, chin up, a mechanic's grit holding firm. Gaines stood, mopping his brow, voice a tired rasp. Evidence shows a hooded man, dark skin, fast hit that store. Witness saw him, video backs it. Carter's got no alibi worth a damn, just a stub and a buddy. Guilty's clear. He sat puffing as Polk nodded, smug. Plain as day, he muttered, loud enough for the jury to hear. The woman in floral pursed her lips. The guy in the cap frowned. Lena Harris rose, wiry frame taut, her voice a rising tide. This case is smoke, no prints, no cash, no face. A witness guesses, a video blurs, and my client's life hangs on it? He was at work stub, co-worker, fact. The only crime here is prejudice. She turned to Polk, unflinching. And this court's let it run wild. The gallery gasped sharp, electric, and Polk's gavel slammed. Watch it, counsel. Jury's got no time for your sob story. Lena faced the 12. Steady. You've seen the holes, heard the taunts. Jamal Carter's innocent. Don't let bias steal his name. She sat, and Polk smirked. Bias? Just calling it like I see it, fella fits the part. A juror in a red tie clenched his jaw. The woman in floral stared at Polk, pen still. The jury filed out. The room buzzing, reporters whispering, he's cooked, activists muttering, Polk's done it now. Jamal watched them go, heart thudding, Lena's hand on his arm. They're with you, she said low. I feel it. Polk leaned back, arms crossed, sure of his win. 2 hours, stretched gallery pacing, a bailiff chewing gum, Polk doodling on his pad. Then the knock. The jury returned, faces grim. The foreman, a wiry man, glasses fogged, stood, voice flat. Not guilty. A beat, then the bomb. And we condemn this court's conduct bias, mockery unfit for justice. The room erupted cheers, shouts, a reporter's holy hell! Polk bolted up, face purple. What's this horse shit? You can't! The gavel trembled in his hand as the gallery roared. Jamal exhaled, shoulders dropping, a faint thank you to Lena. She grinned, fierce. Told you. Polk slammed the gavel, yelling, Order! This ain't binding. But the door swung open. A woman in a gray suit, badge glinting. Judge Polk, she said, voice ice. Judicial review's here. You're suspended, step down. Polk froze, mouth gaping, then roared. You can't do this. She flashed papers. Misconduct, probe years of it. Out. The bailiff moved, Polk's robe flapping as he was led off, snarling. I'll fight. The room spun, cameras flashing, Jamal standing, free. The mobile county courthouse exhaled as Judge Raymond Polk was hustled out, his robe trailing like a tattered flag, his shouts, I'll sue every damn one of you, fading down the hall. The gallery erupted into a storm, locals cheering, reporters shouting into phones, activists hugging with a fierce, we did it. Jamal Carter stood, 27 and free. The robbery charge a ghost now, his blue shirt soaked through, but his shoulders finally loose. Lena Harris clapped his back, grinning. Told you they'd see, Jamal. You're clear. The jury lingered, the foreman, wiry glasses fogged, nodding to Jamal as they filed out. The woman in floral caught his eye, mouthing. Sorry it took this, her frown softening. The guy in the cap tipped it, a quiet salute. Jamal nodded back, voice thick. Thanks for all of it. The room buzzed, a TV crew from Montgomery shoving mics forward. Mr. Carter, what's next? But he waved them off, needing air. Outside, Mobile's humid dusk wrapped the steps, the bay's salt tang cutting through the heat. A crowd swelled, protesters chanting, No more Polks! Gay signs bobbing, Justice for Jamal. The Mobile Register hit stands. Racist judge ousted after shock verdict. X exploded. Jamal free trending, the jury's rebuke. Court's conduct unfit, looping viral. A clip of Polk's last snarl racked up views, comments raging. Good riddance. Lena joined Jamal, briefcase slung over her shoulder. Reviews digging Polk's got a file thick as a Bible. This ain't his first mess. Jamal glanced at her, voice low. Think it'll stick? She shrugged, eyes sharp. If they've got spine, yeah, you shook 'em awake. A news van screeched up, a reporter yelling, "Was it worth it?" Jamal paused, then said, "Wasn't about worth it, was about right." The courthouse promised audits quiet, rushed but whispers spread, Polk's allies circling, a lawyer vowing his return. By night, a rally sparked on Dauphin Street hundreds, black and white, young and old, a kid in a hoodie shouting, "This is our town now!" Jamal watched from a corner, hands in pockets, the bay breeze cool on his face. A mechanic again, not a defendant, but something else too, a spark. Days later, a schoolteacher stopped him at Ray's Auto. "My class saw you on TV, saying no to hate, they're writing essays." Jamal blinked, a faint smile breaking. "Tell him to keep writing." She nodded, gone, and he turned back to a carburetor, oil smudging his fingers. A letter came, activists wanting him to speak, a movement brewing. He set it aside, unopened, but his eyes lingered. Polk's probe widened. Old cases cracking open, a shadow stretching. An ex-post flickered, anonymous. "He'll be back, watch." Jamal walked the bay that night, water lapping, the city's hum soft. A kid waved, shy. "You're the guy," and ran off. Jamal stopped, gazing out. Free, yes. But what next? The question hung, open as the tide. The Mobile County Courthouse stood quiet the next morning, its red brick catching the sun's glare. But the echoes of Jamal Carter's trial lingered like a low hum. Inside, clerks shuffled files, whispers sharp. "Polk's done. They're combing everything." Outside, the city churned, Dauphin Street alive with chatter. Newsstands, hawking the Register's latest. Judges fall sparks, calls for reform. Jamal, 27, walked free. His blue shirt swapped for a grease-streaked tee, but the weight of eyes followed him still. He ducked into Ray's Auto, the garage's oil tang a balm after the courthouse's stale air. Customers nodded, quick, respectful, some muttering, "Saw you on TV, man." Jamal kept his head down, wrench turning, but his mind replayed it. Polk's sneer. The jury's not guilty. The investigator's cold, "You're out." Lena's call broke the rhythm. "Jamal, probe's got teeth. Old rulings, payoffs, Polk's toast." He grunted. "Good." But a question gnawed. What now? Mobile felt it too. The rally grew, hundreds spilling from Dauphin to the bayfront. Signs sharp, end bias. Jamal's fight is ours. A preacher bellowed, "This ain't one win, it's a wake-up." A teen, skinny in a hoodie, climbed a bench, voice cracking, "I'm tired of being next." The crowd roared, fists up, and Jamal watched from the edge, hands in pockets. A woman 40s, braids tight, grabbed his arm. "You started this, son. Don't stop." He nodded, throat tight, unsure. X burned hotter. Jamal free at 1,000,000. Clips of Polk's rants looping. A law prof tweeting, "Mobile's a case study, now systems rotten." The courthouse brass squirmed, announcing reviews in a stiff presser. But a councilman pushed a motion bias training. Judge oversight naming Jamal's trial as proof. Reporters hounded him at Ray's. "You suing? Running for something?" He waved them off. "Just livin'." But their pens kept scratching. Polk's shadow stretched. The investigator, the woman named Claire Vance. Gray suit, steel gaze dug deeper, old clerks spilling. Rigged cases, hushed favors. A barfly swore Polk met a cop buddy nights before Jamal's arrest. Coincidence or setup? The Register hinted at indictments, but an ex-post flared, anonymous. "They'll bury it, always do." Jamal saw it, thumb hovering, then clicked off. Doubt crept in. How far could this go? A week later, he walked the bay at dusk, water lapping dark and steady. A kid, maybe 12, ran up, shy. "You're him, right? From court?" Jamal nodded, faint smile. "Yeah," the kid grinned. "My brother says you're why he's not scared no more." He darted off, leaving Jamal staring at the tide. The letter from the activists sat in his truck, still sealed speeches, marches, a voice if he'd take it. He didn't open it, not yet. Mobile shifted, tensions flared, then softened. A school named a day, Carter's Stand, kids drawing scales of justice. The probe's hum grew, Polk's name fading, but a whisper lingered. Appeal. Come back. Revenge? Jamal fixed a carburetor, hands sure, but his eyes drifted to the bay's horizon. Free. Alive. A spark. But where did it lead? The city held its breath, and so did he. Thank you all for watching this video. Please comment and let me know what you think about this story. Please like and subscribe to watch more great content on my channel.